Ms. Jessica Balo is the coordinator for co-curricular activity at ACE International Academy, and today she shares with us why it is important to have co-curricular properly instituted in our schools. Good morning, Auntie Jessica.
Good morning.
You are welcome to the Educators Channel.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So, Auntie Jessica, what would you term co-curricular activity?
So that's usually an activity performed by students, whether in university, primary, or secondary, that falls outside the scope, not necessarily the scope, but that's not done within normal curricular hours. It's usually added at the end of school. Some schools do it before. And they just really give a certain augmentation to whatever is done within the normal curriculum.
Great. All right. What do you think is the rationale or wisdom behind this concept?
Thinking about this, I realized that co-curricular activities have been around for a very long time, before the advent of normal school, in quotes. I think they've just been integrated and made more intentional in the school curriculum, just because of how much experience they can give to students based on skills that they can acquire, which cannot necessarily be taught in class, and even with the application of skills that are taught in class. So for me, this is just in order to make sure that whatever it is that's being taught in class has a link in the real world where we live.
Okay, that's fantastic. All right, so how do co-curricular activities tie in with the teaching and learning process?
Okay, so like I said earlier, they just give an outlet for students to practice, for students to experience firsthand what is going on out there. School sometimes tends to be a bit abstract, but then once you step out, you are applying, you are working and living and moving in the real world, which is where we actually all are. School is like a bubble, but the real world is where we interact. So for example, we have a number of students taking part in the creative business plan competition, where they are supposed to put together a comprehensive business plan. And some of these students are actually business students in school. And so it's giving them linkages between what they are learning in school and how it works in the real world out there.
Great. So can you quickly mention some of the benefits, because you've made reference to how they give a practical feel of what they study in class. So can you quickly give us some of the benefits of co-curricular?
There are a lot of them, loads of them, but majorly confidence building, team working skills, human resource management, time management, and management of your emotions. Depending on what activity you're also doing, you're going to be getting relaxation, you're going to have increased health benefits, especially if you're in a lot of the sporty activities. So these are some of the benefits you can gain.
I think schools should go for this. All schools should begin to implement this if these are some of the benefits as you've mentioned. All right, now let's talk about what would you suggest as quick starters for schools who have not fully operationalized co-curricular activity?
For something like that, you would want to start with, I would say in quotes, simple, because they are not too cost intensive. So you can have a math and spelling club, you can have a school choir and a band club, or you can have a cooking club where maybe students don't pay too much to be a part of, or you give them the ingredients list ahead of time and then they bring from home, and then you guys cook in school. So just things that are not too cost intensive from the beginning, and then once parents and students especially begin to see the benefits of these activities, they are going to be willing to pay more for more advanced clubs.
Great. Is that simple?
That's
all
simple.
Right. Obviously this thing is going to interfere somewhat with regular academic work. So how do you suggest, or what do you suggest that schools should do in order not to interfere, or how should they plan their co-curricular in such a way that it won't interfere with the regular academic work?
So with the word interfere, I sort of had a problem with that, although I do understand where you're coming from. So, as I said earlier, you can decide at which point in time in your school timetable you want these activities to take place. Some schools have it in the mornings before regular curricular activities. Some schools have it in the afternoons after regular curricular activities. Some schools also decide to dedicate a whole day or a weekend. So it just depends on how your timetable is and how best you can fit it in, so that students are benefiting and are not losing the impact as well on usual curricular activities.
All right. Now, there's a personal one. How fulfilling has this role been to you?
Okay,
as a co-curricular activity coordinator? Yes.
It's not been easy.
Why is that?
It wasn't something that I initially set out to do. It was sort of a role that was handed to me and I had to step in. But over the years, I can't say it's not being fulfilling, because it has. When you see students benefiting, when you see students enjoying what they are doing, when you see facilitators enjoying what they are doing, it's always very very fulfilling in that aspect. But sometimes when you have a few challenges, it can stress you out, and you forget the good sometimes. But then once you get back in, it gets fulfilling again.
Great. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I just want to say that we can't look at schooling as having been educated. Your education is every single day, not only because you are in school. So when you are in school, make sure you are getting educated, you are involving yourself, and when you're out of school, be conscious of the education you're getting as well.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic. I like the last bit. Being in school does not necessarily mean being educated. Guys, if you want to be fully educated, make sure that your school has started implementing co-curricular activity. And this has been the Educators Channel. Make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe for more. Thank you, and see you some other time. Bye-bye.